it will disappear. And the back of your pickup will be your ambulance service. If you want it, and this is not just Houston County, this is all over. If you want it, unfortunately, you are going to have to start paying for those services. That's reality. And people don't like
We're not
taxes.
paying for those services now?
Pardon?
I think there's like $500,000 that comes to the hospital district at this point in taxes,
No.
I guess, or something like that.
No.
But it's very low.
It's extremely low. We have the lowest hospital tax district rate, I think, of any place with a hospital, period. I mean, we are and have been, and we've been very blessed that we've been able to keep it that long. But that's no longer the case, and so reality is now losing its ugly head, and people have to decide, you want a hospital, you want an ambulance service. You want an ambulance in a hospital? Pay for it. If you don't, no.
But do we believe that?
I'm done, I'm sorry, I'll go on another.
Do we believe we'll be able to put together an ambulance service that will be active by the time this one goes
Yeah,
away?
yeah, that's what we're talking about tonight, we think
Yes.
we can do it.
And I thank you very much for answering my questions. I've got a lot of questions I'd like to ask sometime. Thank you very much.
I'd like to point out that Dick's view of this may be a little more drastic than some of our other views. I admire Dick, he's my wife's doctor, and a great guy, but sometimes we don't see eye to eye.
Good.
Uh,
I like Bear, right.
But a lot of what he said are good points, because there's no free lunch anymore. Okay, now, if we're through discussing, somebody needs to,
I have one other issue, in that there's not a member of the hospital board in the decision-making process of this contract. And if
Not
we're
at
going
this
to be,
time. Not at this time.
but I mean,
It
I
could
don't think, I think we should actually know what we're, or be part of the decision-making of who we select as a provider.
be- Can y'all be there tomorrow?
I mean, I think one of us should, I mean, whether it be,
And if it
I think it
makes you
probably,
feel any
if
better.
we're gonna be funding the majority of that, we probably need to
you know, because
have an active involvement in it.
With the help of the consultant, we actually have a scoring sheet. So it's very straightforward. If they do this, then they get, So it's not just gonna be based on, can you be here, can you get to an ambulance? So, that can be for your viewing also, to back up.
well, at
But
least
yeah.
it is.
Is it from 8 to 5 o'clock?
you don't want that.
All day?
Excuse me, didn't Walker and Christopher involved in this at one, I mean, as far as in some of the conferences? Okay, so I mean, so there was representation from the board, basically. Now, as far as the decision,
I wouldn't go that far. It was just mostly just discussions.
so, okay, so they actually were a part, they were part of it, but they didn't, as far as the decision-making was who was gonna do what, is what the question was, is how we get to the people, and like I said, if you're, I think, asking them to do what they do, I think it has to come from you all, but there was some input from you all in the reference of two of your board members.
But I'm talking about the final.
Well, okay, well, you need to make that resolution in your proposal.
You'll give us a minute, I think we will.
Well, my thoughts, is that I think perhaps that this board, I don't know if you're even saying, whatever, I was thinking if we said that we would fund 50%, or were you saying, what was your thinking more than that? My thoughts is if we, the problem is we don't know where the other entities are gonna come in, so we think we're looking at a 250 number.
Worst case.
If we said that we pledge 150 for the and
With the ability to adjust that
with the
as
ability to
necessary.
adjust that as necessary, certainly, and much like the wording that the commissioners had was, it's amenable or negotiable after the other entities meet. But so that they know tomorrow, when they're agree that the county is the entity to negotiate and manage that. And we also want to let them know that we would grant whoever the third-party provider is use of our EMS facilities, so that's plain and clear. I guess the only thing that really needs to be resolved is, do we pick a number, do we pick a percentage? How, you know, our percentage with a maximum? Commissioner, what would you be comfortable, what is assurances that you need to be able to go in and negotiate and meet with your court and come back, or you don't know either?
No, not really. It would be hard, for me to say.
Well, I think since Lincoln is on a figure of $50,000, that we should put a figure of $150,000.
Well, if you've, that's what I was thinking about coming in to hear, Barbara, but it's a fluid situation. So, Barbara, very, okay. I think we pledged $150,000 to the court for the interim period, and agree that the county, or the Eastern County is the entity to do the negotiations. We would like to have one seat on that committee, whether it's in lieu of somebody else or as an additional. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. But more for information and be able to report back to our board.
I don't think there'd be no problem with that.
And that we would grant the third-party provider use of our EMS facilities. Can somebody write that down, or? You might have to read it back to us.
Well, I have a question about that. Aren't you guys gonna interview 5 companies?
4,
4?
1 back out.
And aren't they gonna present to you what their costs are gonna be, and y'all are gonna evaluate each one of them and use a score sheet?
Yes.
And at that time, you're not making a decision tomorrow, you're just interviewing them. Am I correct?
We'll
We
know
could
a dollar,
make it-
we may know a dollar.
Yeah, we may know a dollar figure by tomorrow afternoon.
Well, then that would give the board the opportunity to participate in that decision-making once they presented you with all their numbers. Am I correct?
Yes,
Doesn't that give you what you want?
right.
Once they finish with their interviews, and you have a board member there, and they present their numbers, and then the board comes back and says, we accept or we reject, doesn't that get you where you want to be?
Well, that's the way it's on the drawing board,
Yes, sir.
yes.
And I can email y'all the questions, and I think the companies have already been sent the questions ahead of time, so that they're prepared, and hopefully they will come back with them. But this is just the beginning of the negotiation. They may say they need another week to run their numbers, I don't know. I hope I can do it. So that, y'all are okay with, we want 2 ambulances, 911.
Right.
The 8-hour peak cover.
I can put that in the motion, that we're interested in the 2 ambulances, and that the 911 service be included, but I think that's in your specs already.
I think it
So.
can.
I don't think we would
That
have
would be
any
a
problem
no.
with one of y'all sitting in the meeting tomorrow. I mean, that would be fine.
The only thing I see is a problem, is they keep talking about they need a hard month to get things up and running. If we put this off another week, we don't have that hard month.
No, that's why we're trying to
Yeah,
get.
so we need to get this done, so they can make a decision.
They may hopefully make a commitment tomorrow,
Tomorrow.
but they need to know they've got the funds behind it.
Right, and from that point, right, you'll give the authority to Commissioner's Court to start to do the negotiation. Well, you've already done that.
Yes, we did that. We did.
But at this point, it's just the money, that's what y'all do tomorrow.
Tomorrow, we'll try. We'll have that decision made tomorrow.
So somebody will be here tomorrow.
Yes, so it would be good for one of y'all.
You know, Patrick, you and Patrick, that's gotta be you, he's out of there.
Yeah. I'm making a motion, did you write that, what did you write down? All right,
I'm
let me
on Dick
be part of it.
Murchison's report.
That
We have a motion to contribute $150,000 as a share of the interim cost for an ambulance service for Houston County, and that a member of the Houston County Hospital District Board be included on the committee reviewing applicants for such service.
okay, and that, furthermore, the 150, the motion is minimal and negotiable after the other two entities meet. That we also pledge the use of our EMS facilities to the third-party provider.
And I think we need to add that we're giving Houston County the authority.
Yes, and we're granting Houston County the authority to negotiate on our behalf.
With no mandatory.
Well, yeah.
Furthermore, the $150,000 amount is negotiable after the two entities meet, and that we are granting Houston County, Commissioners authority to negotiate on our behalf. Did I leave
Right.
something out?
Did you get the part about the EMS?
And that furthermore, the $150,000 amount is negotiable after the two entities meet. And is-
Amendable, not negotiable, amendable after the other two parties.
Okay, amendable. After the two entities meet, and that the EMS service is what?
Is authorized to use at no cost the hospital district's EMS facility.
Second.
Okay,
Okay, second by Carol.
what?
Carol Dawson seconded.
Okay. Is that one motion, Carol second?
Does anyone need it read over, or is that sufficient? Y'all good with it? How about you, Carol? You good with it?
Yeah.
Any discussion? Okay, I'm gonna call for a vote. All in favor, please raise your right hand. That's unanimous. Okay, I think we've accomplished what we were gonna do in this open meeting. The board is gonna go into executive session. I honestly don't know if we're gonna make a decision after that or not. Well, it's possible, but Sue, you can do what you want to do. So, this meeting is adjourned. We're going to go into executive session. We'll come back in here and re-adjourn.